And we are back with totally no incriminating stories about violating the law and getting off because your family's well connected in the small town you grow up in. Yeah, nothing like that. So, are we gonna do? So, do we want to redo the previously, or say fuck it, watch the last episode? It's on YouTube. You can find it. I'm pretty sure if you Google on YouTube Satanic Scalies, it comes up. Satanic Scalies. What comes up if I look that up on YouTube? Satanic Scalies 2, Squicky Romance Get? What was the Satanic Panic? Satanic Scalies 3, Boats Sucks. Satanic Art, A Fight for Freedom. Satanic Scalies 4, I Hope It's Not a Fetish. It should be noted there's only one view on any of the Satanic Scalies videos thus far.
That's fine. Someone took the time to look.
And that's on I Hope It's Not a Fetish.
Yeah, there's no views on Boat Sucks or Squeaky Romance Kit.
Yeah. But when I go, I hope it's not a fetish, now everyone wants to watch it.
Alright. Who's ready to do this? Who's ready to assassinate the Lord Commander of this place tonight?
3, 2, 1, not it.
That's my job.
I don't think directly tonight's going to be when we're going to do this.
I do want to remind you still have like 13 days until
he even arrives.
Yeah, until the until the army arrives.
So we have time to prepare. We don't know it's tonight.
Yeah. You've made your saves. No one's noticed you. You're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to start learning the ways of this world.
So the question is, as they set you down for a nice night's sleep in your respective chambers, Dern getting set there in the back corner of room 40 with the glowing and uncomfortably grindy ice golem all night, and Mitten getting to camp out in the corner of Ederly's bedroom.
He's too pretty.
Why the fuck not? He sleeps nude.
Ah! I wish to bang him.
You cannot. You are a child. Disguised.
And I'm going to just go ahead and put everyone else off map because you don't know where they sleep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No fucking kids. Is there anything that you want? Oh no, Varlet is in the stables and you can see the stables.
No.
Oh well.
You revealed the stables.
Oh no, information that you don't technically have. You saw Varlet right in there, so it's fine.
Yeah, we literally go by the road. It's a stable. That's where horses are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything that you wish to do during the night?
I will cast alarm on the room so I know if anyone comes in. The mental alarm, not the audible one.
Okay. And I'm trying to adapt these events because this assumes you go at it in an entirely different way. So okay. So morning comes. Breakfast is in the mess hall. This time you are, scurried off into the mess hall to have breakfast with everyone because of course you are.
Okay.
Would any of you like to try to chit-chat with folk? during breakfast.
What kind of people would be around here?
Guards, and mostly guards. You're eating in the mess hall, where is the mess hall?
Is there any like tall towers on the keep or anything?
There is one tall tower. So the keep is 4 stories tall with a roof. This corner tower goes 2 stories above the top. So there's 1, 2, 3 stories. So it's a little bit shorter than the keep itself. Mm-hmm. And then the gatehouse across the way, which is across the bridge, is got a rooftop. So it's only this 1 story. Although it's kind of a 2-story building because the other side of the river is lower. So it's like the main floor of the fortress goes into the 2nd story of the gatehouse. Okay. And then the 1st story of the gatehouse leads to the bridge, which goes into the basement of the watchtower, where a lot of the bedrooms are, and where I've moved Mitten into the dining hall. And there's guards here. I'm not going to interrupt guard tokens until we need them.
How many guards are eating right now?
So there are 3 shifts, so about 1/3 of them. So maybe 35, 40 guards. Actually, no, it's breakfast, so it's going to be everyone who's coming off. So yeah, about 35, 40 guards are eating in here at the present time. So it's a little cramped, it's a little crowded.
Does everyone look to be eating from the same food?
Not really. Like, it looks like there's maybe 2 or 3 different there are 2 or 3 different meal options. You can pick pancakes, you can pick eggs and sausage, you can pick cereal.
Okay.
And some people, and maybe about half the guards are carrying in breakfasts that, like, their spouses in Alden Cross made.
Okay. One of the things I would say to some of the guards is I'm just kind of sitting there kicking my legs as I'm eating pancakes is, wow, I thought that we would have all gotten the same thing. This is really cool that we get all these awesome different meals to choose from.
They're not good pancakes.
It's better than what we would have had before. Kobolds do not have pancakes. I don't know what good pancakes are.
Okay. Yeah. And the guard will go, the food here isn't really good. My sister makes me breakfast. It's real good. Except on holy days. Every week on holy day, Mama Giuseppe comes in from Alden Cross and makes her beef stew. And that is so good.
Beef stew? Wow. It sounds like everyone really, really likes that.
Everyone eats the beef stew. It is so good.
Do you think I might be able to have some?
Yeah. Squire. It's 4 days from now when she comes in.
That's really cool. That sounds really tasty too. I really hope I get some. In my head, 4 days. Priority target located. Poison beef stew. I'm assuming we're sitting next to each other and just like the grin and smiles of me just looking over at, I'm just imagining the look I'm looking over at Fowl when he says like, yeah, beef stew sounds really good. The look at Fowl, you're going to poison that. Or I will.
So you're chatting with the guards and such?
Yeah, just casual chat.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Could each of you make a diplomacy check?
Diplomacy.
Yep.
What is my diplomacy? There's no diplomacy.
No diplomacy.
You mean persuasion?
Sure.
Do we have advantage at all?
Or just a charisma check.
Persuasion.
I'll do charisma. my charisma is better than my persuasion.
My persuasion is better than charisma, so...
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one I pick. They both the same.
I rolled a 2!
I rolled a 9.
Yeah, so you're chatting and people are, polite, but you're the new guys and you're kids and no one's really comfortable around you. So, when you start a conversation, they're like, yeah. And then the first moment that they can, they get away to go clean their swords or something.
Yeah, that makes sense to me that it would start off this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we need to figure out where we're going to get poison at. That'll be later. She comes every week, correct?
Every week.
From what he said. Okay.
So
we have up to 4 times to do it.
So just to remind you, Mitten is, not a Mitten, Fal, Dern in Disguise, is meant to go pass off some things to Mad Martin. And then once the morning watch is fully set, you're supposed to gather in the courtyard for your formal briefing. You're not quite sure who's going to be giving you your formal briefing.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to, give you your formal orientation. Present you your duties.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to do in the maybe hour or so you have before it's time to show up?
Are we allowed to look around to keep it all? I don't think we were, if I remember right.
It's kind of a case of here's places you can go. Like, I'm pretty sure no one would care if you went to Area 26. Or if you kind of were wandering the main halls, but I'm pretty sure that, people would probably get really pissy if, say, you tried to cross into the guard tower. Or go into people's bedrooms.
Yeah. I'm just going to kind of look around a little bit, just kind of walk around, like, the main area. And would I be allowed up here at all?
Do you want to try? Do you want to try to go on up there?
Oh, sure. I mean, like, who wouldn't want to look out over the wall?
Well, alrighty then. So, when you head up there, there are guards patrolling the wall, and they will mostly be kind of keep an eye out. We don't want you to run into problems. It's 2. We'll go ahead and pull them down. 2 of Mott's men patrol the wall. So go ahead and bring them up here. And when you first go up, one of them, you're like, oh, you're the kid. Yeah, just be careful. It's a big fall, and we don't want to get in trouble. The walls themselves are about 20 feet tall compared to the courtyard below, and are crenellated with 5.5 foot tall crenellations. There are 4 narrow stairwells that lead on up there. One over here by this teeny little shack. One here by this main stair this main stair that goes up and down the tower through the armory and into where everyone eats. So ironically, you can go through the armory pretty much at will because it's about the only way back up here. Okay. And then there's these 2. But of note, there are 2 guards who stand out here and don't patrol.
Mm-hmm.
2 well-armored archers who are standing alongside a winch.
Would they mind if I walked over, just kind of looking at what they're kind of looking at?
They are looking over the courtyard.
Okay.
Like they're standing here by a winch looking over the courtyard.
What's that? As I point at the winch.
They go. They look and just go, portcullis.
Oh, is that the big metal gatey thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So you could make, what is the equivalent of an engineering check here?
Investigation?
Sure.
Maybe?
We'll make say investigation. You could make an investigation check if you like. Or disable device.
I have disable device.
Disable device is a thing?
Or it goes under,
Sleight of hand.
sleight of hand.
Yeah. Because this is representing some knowledge. Yeah. So as you're saying that, you notice that winch is 2 winches. There's one winch that seems to head down towards the portcullis, and another seems to head over almost along the wall to this. And being a kid, they kind of go, yeah, sure, kid, you want to look out? You got a great view of Alden Cross from here. And they like pick you up to look. And you can see there's a massive stone right there. And that stone, you can tell, is on rails almost. And it dawns on you that there's a second hidden switch on that portcullis lever that if you trigger it, will cause that stone to just slide down. And this is several tons of big fucking rock.
Do you use the big rock to crush people who would try to invade? That's so cool.
They look at you and go, the big rock. That's the seal of Ballantine. When you go out on your orientation, ask them to take you out front and you can take a look at it. It's really big and you can see it from Alden Cross. It shows the sigil of the keep on it. Makes the people feel good.
That's cool. I'm just imagining, just like in his head, if he was a machine, just a checklist slowly forming. Priority target 1, ensure portcullis remains open during invasion. Priority 2, disable seal of Ballantine.
What is Fowl doing?
I would assume I would probably try to head to the rookery to get my orders at him, and also to investigate how the rookery looks.
Okay. So I'm going to actually use your token here because there's some floors to go through and some things to describe for you. Some information to dump, so to speak. So, as you head up from the armory through kind of this central room, you come to another room, which this room, there are arrow slits, like every 5 feet along the wall in every direction, and a massive store of arrows here. Like you can see hundreds of quivers in orderly stacks right along here.
Target?
Tertiary objective. Burn the bows and arrows. Destroy them all.
There's not bows, just arrows.
Burn the arrows. Bows are useless without the arrows.
And then you go up one more story into a small room with a pair of doors. This room has like a little chair in the corner, but there's no one there. There's these big double doors, and as you approach it, you can start to smell a sort of foul stench. And when you get to the door, it's locked. It is locked.
I'll knock on it.
Then I need to grab some water real quick.
And there's a click, 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 and then the door opens slowly. The loud grinding noise of metal against stone. And you see a fairly well lit by the large windows in the ceiling room, and a stench of bird shit just smacks you in the face as this masked and robed man looks down at you from above.
Oh no, it's the tentacle beard demon.
I did use this art for the tentacle beard demon, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
So, as he looks down at you, he just goes, "And you are?"
What's the wizard guy's name?
Tacitus.
Tacitus. I'm Val. I'm Tacitus's new squire.
And why are you bothering me?
He told me to come up here to order my books.
Come in. And yeah, you can't walk across this floor without stepping in bird shit.
Yeah.
And he looks at you and says, "Do you have the order?"
I assume Tacitus gave me the order, correct?
Yes. It's on a
So
little curled up piece of parchment.
I will hand him the order.
He doesn't take the order. He looks at it, looks up, and goes, "Caw, caw, caw, caw." I said, "Caw, you little bitch. Get down here." And a raven flutters down. And he just grabs the raven. The raven lands on his finger. He looks at it and goes, "Caw, caw, caw, caw."
Does he speak Raven?
And then he looks to you and says, "Well, tie it on."
I will tie it on.
He goes, "Alrighty then." And he looks at the raven again, looks at the outside of the note, and you notice that when he does, you notice for the first time there's these like 4 lines kind of marked on the bottom side that you didn't quite understand, and he goes, "Tacitus is terrible at those." And then his voice shifts slightly as he goes, "This is to be taken to the Tower of Mages. This order is to be fulfilled immediately. Do not dawdle." And the bird takes off and flies away. And as it does, it goes, "Caw, caw, caw." And he looks at you and goes, "Eh? Caw, caw, caw," waving his arms at you.
Fellows just gonna take a quick look around the room as he's starting to leave, going thanks.
So as you look around, there are 3 or 4 dozen ravens. Maybe even more. Excuse me. Actually, no. How much there is. It says. Yeah, there are hundreds of ravens in the ceiling here. Hundreds. And they, as you stop and Martin goes, "Caw," they start going, "Caw, caw, 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 caw." All of them.
I'm gonna keep leaving, but as I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna check how the door lock looks.
It looks excellent.
A really strong lock.
It's a really good lock on the inside of the door.
Mm.
And when you get to the outside and it closes, you can see there's a little slot where you can open it to insert a key to try to unlock, but the mechanism's all on the other side of that door. And there's the unlocking mechanism triggers gears that turn and unlatch several latches and lift a big bar that blocks things.
Basically, we're not getting into the rookery easily. And
as soon as it closes, you can hear all the words go off. And then much farther away now, as there's this thick door and these thick iron doors between you, you can hear, "Caw, caw. Yes, you're gorgeous this morning, Marianne. Caw. Well, you should stop sleeping with Joseph's sister then. Caw, caw."
Oh, I can see where you got the mad part from.
Yeah. And that is your message sent at the rookery through Mad Martin.
Yay, books.
Yay. I'm going to keep vision off for processing purposes. Whoa. So, are we ready for the grand tour?
Yeah.
So, you're busy, you're busy. You are busy, and you're not. So, okay. Are y'all gonna gather? I'm gonna have some token dragging to do, probably.
Yep.
I will probably tell Lord Flufferkins to wait in my room and set an alarm on the chest that he has.
Okay. So, with a 3, we end up with you as our person. Where did I put you? I moved them somewhere for safekeeping. There you are.
That's Mott.
Captain Mott. As he stands up here looking down you two and says, "Ah, new squires, new blood. I once again want to caution you against heroics. Heroics just get people killed."
We'll keep that in mind, sir.
Okay, sir.
All right. So, I should present places to you as are needed. The first place of importance is right here, and he leads you inside this room, which will be the first time that Mitchen gets in here. And you see a large empty room with a statue of Mitra on the far end. And in these corners are stacks of tables and chairs. Like, they're not laid out, they're stacked. And he goes, "This is the Great Hall. We have our regular meetings where we need to address the entire soldiery here. This is also where we meet dignitaries. My understanding is that Thal has been here before."
Yes, sir.
He points over here to this curtain. Past that curtain are the stairs up to the prison, if you are ever called upon to attend there. Above that are the private chambers of the Magus and the Lord Guard. There should be no need for you to go up there.
Okay.
He leads you on out here to this location. where he goes, here is the courtyard. There's the fountain, an outdoor shrine to Mitra, and the disciplinary platform. If you break the rules, you will be taken to the platform, you will be lashed, you will be left to stand there and reflect upon what you've done. And I suppose this is as good a time as any to bring a few of these guys out here so you can see that there are acolytes out here tending to the yard. Excuse me, this is not a statue of Mitra. This, as Mott will quickly tell you, is a statue of the victor, King Marcadian I the Victorious. It's a beautifully built knight in shining plate armor with the holy symbol of Mitra. And he says, this is the king who slew the cult of Asmodeus and drove the vile Asmodeans from our land.
Huh, that's really cool.
There's a inscription along the bottom of the statue that reads, hold fast to courage, to faith, and to fellowship, and this tower shall never fall. Wah, wah, wah. As Mott leads you actually up onto this outer bridge through the stairwell, he will point to this little shack and say, that's the garden storage shed. You shouldn't have any reason to go there. Acolytes get tools as they need. He also points to the stables. He says, you don't need to worry about that. You don't have any horses. And then he points to this and says, that's the flag room, as I'm sure you've noticed, which you probably have, but you didn't realize what you were looking at. There's lots of flags in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like huge banners. And he kind of expresses, that's where we keep all of the big fancy banners that we need to pull out on special occasions. As he leads you here, he says, your first responsibility, and this is for both of you, as Mitten is an archer and Fall is a mage. He points down from this walkway. I'm going to go ahead and drag Mitten to what you see below that walkway. This walkway looks over a bridge with a river below it. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And Mott says, in the case of a general alarm and a breach of the North Gatehouse, your responsibilities will be to come here and rain death upon any foes crossing the bridge. This is the Bridge of Death.
So you funnel all the invaders in and let the archers and mages pick them off before the knights even get attacked.
Normally, they die before they break break through the gatehouse. On 2 occasions in history, the monsters from the north have broken through the gatehouse. In both occasions, the Bridge of Death has stopped them. Knights and soldiers at the tower, at the keep, are primarily sent to deal with concerns that are found by the rangers. While the emergency plan does have an array of swordsmen and pikemen with archer support in the corridor below that has never been needed.
Okay.
Next to the gatehouse, the door of which is on the far side of this bridge. He points to things in the ceiling with little ladders by them. Those are trapdoors up to the roof where there are catapults and ballista that are currently maintained by Barnabas and his men. They are doing this because they are presently improving the quality of the siege engineering.
Barnabas is that dwarf who didn't want anything to do with my skills, right?
Barnabas doesn't trust magic. You shouldn't have any need, but if there's a breach of the gatehouse and they call for assistance, here are the murder holes. And you can see over here, there are a couple of pots. Okay, go away, you. I did not conjure you. Get out of here. I hate this thing. There we go. But yeah. There are actually 4 guards who are always here, and you can see 4 of them. And there's 2 bonfires underneath these pots. If you're called upon to access the murder holes, you will burn your hands. The clerics will heal you. Sand goes in a hole. Sand burns those who are coming to death.
Sounds nasty.
That does not sound fun.
Correct. He then points to these 2 floor areas. Those lead down into storage rooms. They predominantly store long-term provisions. They have archer slots that lead into the death chamber. You are not going to be assigned to them. More experienced archers take those positions in time of siege. To finish your understanding, directly below the murder holes is the death trap, the entry. There's a drawbridge. There's a portcullis. The general strategy in the case of a siege is to raise the drawbridge and the portcullis, draw them into the room, drop the portcullis, trap them, douse them in burning sand, and skewer them with arrows. All but 2 attacks upon the fortress have died in that room. He then leads you actually up these stairs to this room and says, "This is Mad Martin's rookery. He's a lunatic, and he's older than anyone else here. If there is a need for a general alarm, you need do nothing but run to this door and knock on it 6 times. I will not demonstrate, because if I demonstrate, Mad Martin will send his ravens. We can expect reinforcements within 48 hours. He then leads you downstairs, back to here, and starts pointing out some rooms, which I've just accidentally drawn you over one of. Whoops. So he goes, there's Captain Ederly's room. Captain Ederly is the only one of us that regularly uses his quarters. My chambers are here. I am only at the fortress during emergencies. My wife and I have a house in town.
Mm-hmm.
Barhold is also always here. Those are his chambers. Ederly also has a home in town and will frequently be there, as I'm sure that Mr. Mitten will notice. He stayed last night to get you accustomed. But in general, Mr. Mitten, you will have Ederly's room to yourself. If there are problems at night, Barhold is the one to speak to.
Okay.
This last one is Captain Varnim's quarters. Captain Varnim has a home in town, an excessively large home in town, but he is also in charge of the Rangers and is generally not at the fort.
Mm-hmm.
Leads you out, points to these doors. Those doors lead to the Bridge of Death. I have not heard anyone complain yet, but in case you have been relieving yourselves not knowing where you're supposed to, he opens this door where there's a room with a hole in the ground that leads to the river. Shit there. And the drawbridge is down, so from here you can actually see into room 19 and the closed northern gate with its closed portcullis. Leads you through here. This is a place you've already been. Here's the kitchen. Storeroom is over there. Vision blocking layer is broken. There's a bigger storage over here. Dining is there. He does not point it out, but since you've already previously made the roll very well, Gurn notices that there's a trapdoor with a droppable ladder over here, presumably leading up to the Great Hall. As you come out here, and again, there's guards all along this hallway. Mott will go, "Be quiet. We're entering into the sleeping chamber. Many of the guards do not have space at home or will take naps here if their shifts are shuffling quickly." That leads you into the barracks. A lot of these beds are currently filled by sleeping soldiers. Leads you around here to this back area and goes, here is the temple basement. And he leads you out here to room 14, which may need a token. No. As he comes through, he points to these doors. Those are the Acolytes' chambers. That is the private shrine of Father Donnig of the clergy, where church business is handled. Beyond that is Father Donnigan's chambers. This is the vestry, and once again there's a trapdoor with a ladder that leads up to the temple. And he leads
Which one was Father Donnigan's room? This one?
No, these are Acolyte rooms. This leads to the clergy shrine / church office, and through that is Father Donnigan's room.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, I remember. That's where I fucked everything up.
Yeah. And the last thing he does is he leads you up into the temple. So this floor goes to that ceiling. And back out to the main area. Well, do you have any questions?
Hmm.
And he did tell us that Sir Thomas, he's in the upstairs of the keep, right? Where his chambers at.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Lord Haviland and Magister Tacitus have their chambers in the keep, as well as someone else possibly. I don't remember what that room is. It may be an empty guest room, but I want to double check. Yes, it is an empty guest room for important guests. And of course, there's a catapult on the roof. Mott says, well, are there any questions?
I don't think so. It's really cool being here.
Yes, well, as far as day-to-day duties, my understanding, Mitten, is that you are to run at least 2 hours of laps every morning across the top. Points to the outer perimeter of this place. To improve your endurance, which I am told by Captain Ederly is lacking.
Oh, do you people do this?
It is hard at first. It becomes easier with time. And Foul, while Tacitus has not requested it, I would encourage you to also take this run to improve your physical endurance. As your magical skills increase, you may find that a healthy body houses a healthy mind.
I thought I'd seen what would help with this as well, Val says, pointing to the sword on his back.
Right, you do have a sword. Are you interested in swordsmanship?
I know a thing or two, but I'm not the best at it yet.
Well, my men tend to be halberdiers. The swordsmen report to Barhold. At dinner, perhaps you will be able to approach Barhold and request training.
Quick question. The swordsmen are, based on the soldiers we've seen so far, are those the more common one?
So, there are the three classes seem to be about even in commonality. So we've got Barhold's men, who are swordsmen, Mott's men, who are halberdiers, and Ederly's men, who are archers. You, of course, also have Varning's rangers. There are fewer of them, because they go arranging. Yeah, they have a case of same face, so you should be able to tell swordsman, halberdier, archer.
And Mott said that if I wanted to learn more about swordsmen, I can ask, or swordplay, I can ask Barhold.
Yeah, because Barhold does swordsmanship, and despite Mott having a sword in his art, Mott actually does halberdiering. The swords, all four of the guards seem to carry that same sword. It seems almost ceremonial. You three will return to your repositories for when I need you in the future, possibly. And then, of course, there's the Acolytes, which there's relatively few of them as well. And Mott will also say that in your day-to-day work, when you're not reporting to a squire, you should speak to the Acolytes and join them in tending to the grounds. And essentially, you're given mops and buckets and wipe and wash the keep. So, you've heard a bit about Aldencross. You haven't been to Aldencross besides that one ride through. Is there any other things you want to ask?
Are we allowed to go into town sometimes?
He furrows his brow and goes, well, you're squires, so technically those distinctions should be made by your commanders. Although I suppose we should go into town now so I can introduce you to the major places, so that if Ederly or Tacitus sends you into town, you know where to go.
Okay.
He furrows his brow a little and goes, Edgefield, and points to one of the halberdiers walking around. I'm going to be in Aldencross. Inform Lord Haverlin. And he asks you to gather your things and meet him by the basement gate. Oh no, I dragged you through the storerooms. He didn't show you the storerooms. So, the question is, are you ready to go to Aldencross?
Yeah.
Did I already put you in Aldencross? I did. So I only need Mott. So you arrive. So it takes about 30 minutes to walk from Ballantine to Aldencross. It's, close enough. It's maybe about a mile away, maybe 2 miles. It's a very straight, well-kept road, so it's easy to walk along, but it is a pretty chunky distance. And as you arrive, I need to open a different book because they actually don't mark. Oh, I don't actually have that book. Yes, I do. I don't actually describe Aldencross in this book. They're like, oh, Aldencross, you don't need that information. Oh, whoops, you do need that information. Let us publish another book so that you have Aldencross. So. Enable scrolling, please. Thank you. So, it's hilly and forested up until you get to the river, which is a big canyon, and they have burned the trees away on both sides so that you have a nice long distance around the fort that you can see. So, as you approach here, Mott says, the town is built around the town greens, so you'll notice the town itself is rather dense around the roads. If you cross through any of the alleys, you'll find yourself in the beautiful town greens. The people like to visit them. They are very popular. In particular, he points over in this direction. I should enforce you to this map, shouldn't I? Make sure you see me when I'm marking things. In particular, as he gestures to this green, the day after Holy Days is Market Day, and they set up the market stalls on the northwest green, which is this one, because this direction is north. Even though they have the arrow here for north, that the map and the text disagree.
Okay.
So I will correct the map with a great big red arrow pointing towards actual north. There you go. Not you. So as you come in, he points to the Lord's Dalliance, the only inn that handles travelers. It's very dense. It's run by Bellum Barhold, younger brother of Captain Barhold. It's a rather unsavory place. He does not recommend you attend anything there because, in his words, it's a den of iniquity. And as he begins along this easterly direction, he comes by things and says, there's the house of the Ostermans. The Ostermans are, well, the Ostermans are the Baron. He doesn't live in Aldencross anymore. I'm told that you both have a large amount of money and may be interested in purchasing a home in Aldencross. That's the one that's currently for sale. It is absurdly expensive, 5,000 gold pieces. But I'm also told it's for rent. So if you decide that you want to have a home in town, that is available for purchase. He continues along the outside, completely walking past 18, which doesn't matter and is not important. And as he walks along, pointing out that this is all residential, shaking hands with people, nodding as they go, "Oh, Franz, your wife is so beautiful. I'm so glad that you're visiting. It's so lonely sometimes." And she goes, yes. Work keeps me busy. And he continues to lead you around the boring residential part, stopping here at 12 to go, this is the smith who takes the orders for Valentine. He is not on the main road because he doesn't generally do main business. If there's a need from the tower, you will be sent here to speak to Von Craig. And they lead you inside where there's a man. Very muscular, very burly. No hair on his chest because it has all caught fire and burned off as blacksmith's hair can do. And he's working on metal, and he points it out to Gorin in your disguise and goes, this, incidentally, Gorin, is probably where you will need to place your order for your mail when you become a full archer.
Okay.
And at that mention, Von Craig looks up and looks over and goes, "Squires? At Ballantine?" And Mott goes, "Yes. Apparently these children have been making away as adventurers. Mr. Martin here is an excellent archer working with Ederly, and Mr. Fell is a bit of an apprentice wizard." And Von Craig...
He also made a dog made out of mithril.
And Von Craig stops and goes, "You have mithril? And you made a dog and not armor? Children."
Well, neither of us really use metal armor.
You say as I'm wearing a change of shirt.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want me and my brother to get into harm's way, so the dog protects us.
Mott kind of Smith looks at Mott at that, and Mott goes, "Boy's a bit of a wizard. Not very skilled yet, but apparently with a talent for the construction of constructs." Tacitus went on and on and on about it. Thinks he'll get his golem up and working, finally. Well, if that ice golem works, maybe we'll be making metal golems. I'll need to hire more apprentices. Well, best of luck to you. I've got this work I need to get done for that damned dwarf. And Mott nods, and everyone heads out. And continues to be led around the info dump.
The info dump is good. It gives us priority targets.
There it does.
Priority target, secondary target, tertiary targets.
Where he stops at the Church of St. Alden. This is a very simple-looking church. And Mott says, this is the Church of St. Alden. Father Donegan comes here every week to help Brother Justin. Father Donegan is the senior priest here, although he does spend most of his time at Ballantine. Neither of you should be sent here, but if Donegan has a need for someone and his apprentices are busy, perhaps it behooves you to know where this is. He continues to lead you along and stops here. This is my home. If you are ever sent into town to call me when I'm with my wife, I will be here. And he takes a moment to knock on the door.
And she's with his secret lover.
And in a few moments, his wife comes to the door, apparently still in a nightgown, hair all affray, and goes, "Dear, I thought you weren't back until this evening." And Mott goes, "I know, darling. I have to show the new squires around town. I thought I'd stop by and make sure you didn't need anything before I came back." And she goes,
"Can I roll perception?"
"Yes, you may."
I'll attempt it as well, so I don't think I'll make it.
I mean, I have a +8, so let's go dice roll.
Yeah, this isn't, "Oh, I've been in bed and just gotten up," bedhead. This is, "Oh, I've been in bed and just gotten up," bedhead.
I'm gonna lean over towards Mott. Mr. Mott, that isn't normal.
He's not like talking to you. He's face to face with his wife, and she's got her arm around him and is stroking his cheek and giving him little kisses.
I'll just pat Varnim on the shoulder and tell him, don't mention anything yet.
And she says, "It would be lovely if you could stop by the shops and pick up some radishes for this evening's dinner." And Mott goes, "Wonderful. I hope to be done by mid-afternoon." And she goes, "That is so good to know. I love you so much." And he goes, "I am the luckiest man in the world," and gives her another kiss and lets her go.
"Do you have any friends, miss?"
She looks down at him and goes, "Oh, I have a few around town, but I'm a rather private person.
Oh.
I like to read."
Oh, do you play games like me and my brother do? Like, you look kind of like what we look like after we get done wrestling and fighting with each other. With the hair and everything.
She looks at you. She looks down at you, and Mott actually smacks you upside the back of the head and says it's impolite to mention such things to a woman who has been in bed late, who has been sleeping. I'm very sorry for the children. They are uncouth and uneducated." And she goes, "Oh, it's quite all right. What's your name, little boy?" As she crouches down and straightens her hair and gives you a look of daggers. I'll bring her token over, because she has a token. It's just on the other app.
Warning, warning, danger, danger.
There we go. There's Caitlin. Caitlin.
Establishing priority, oh fuck a duck.
Yeah. She's a beautiful young woman, much younger than Mr. Mott. not like a young woman anymore. She's maybe, he's definitely in his 60s and she's maybe in her mid-30s. So, beginning to show the signs of age, but still much younger than him. Very well dressed.
I was hoping he might get a sense motive, possibly. I was trying to nudge him towards it.
Yeah.
I just got whacked on the head. I'm trying to decide, though. Like, I feel like giving my name is a very bad thing, because she's going to try to murder me.
She's just sitting down looking at you. He says, it's Mitten.
I'm Dal, and that's Mitten.
He looks at you and says, it's not appropriate to lie, son. That's Mitten and Fal. Mitten is Ederly's new squire. She goes, Ederly? Is that man old enough for a squire?
He's pretty enough. Crosses my arms and pouts. No one should look that pretty.
And there's a little look, and I'm not even going to make you have you make a perception check because you can hear well enough as he kind of Mott leans in and says, I think the child's a deviant.
How is a person that pretty? It's not possible. Girls should be that pretty, not boys.
And she actually stands up and starts laughing a little as she straightens her hair and goes, oh, I agree. Captain Ederly is unreasonably pretty. Franz.
She understands.
As Ederly is slipping out of the back window as we speak.
Perception to notice.
Oh, there's no chance to make that notice. It's a different area.
We're in the front of the house. He's in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, she goes, Mr. Mitten, you should try to make your mouth and the words that come out of it as goodly and gorgeous as Captain Ederly's face or my husband's impeccable honor.
But I'm the stupid one. He's the smart one.
A stupid person can still speak kindly and with grace. She looks back towards Dern. Fal, is it you're the smart one then?
Yes, ma'am.
Help teach your brother when it's inappropriate to comment on things.
Trust me, I've tried before. He's very, hard-headed.
Also, she should probably make a sense motive check. Nope. Okay. She does not know that you know. And once more, Captain Mott leans over and gives Caitlin a little kiss, and everyone heads on their way.
Fal will just lean in, or Dan will lean into it, going, as they're leaving, and whisper, if looks could kill, you'd be dead.
Hey, I'm good at getting out of the way of things. I could dodge it.
And Mott will lecture you about how it's inappropriate to comment on a woman's appearance in any way, shape, or form, because if she is looking beautiful, it is lust, and it is inappropriate to treat a woman as the object of sexualization. And if she is looking poorly, it is rude to comment upon it because you don't know what sort of day she's had, and on and on and on, and you get the sense that Mott doesn't fuck.
Mott's an incel.
No, not an incel, a volcel. You get the sense that Mott's a volcel, and Caitlin is just not getting anything there. And as you walk by, I forgot to make a token for this one, so I should make a token real quick. Because he points to this spot and goes, and this is Varning house. Captain Varning is often here when he is in town, and when he isn't, Mr. Darby maintains things. And he knocks on the door to introduce you to Mr. Darby, who I am trying to find the appropriate image for. I want this to be very obvious when I when I show you the image, so I don't have to make any comment. I haven't quite found exactly the right one, because the ones I find that make this clear are a little too... Okay, that one is perfect.
Is Varning gay from Mr. Darby?
As he describes his manservant, Mr. Darby.
Yeah, he's gay from Mr. Darby.
Yeah, so you've got here James Darby. And when you get greeted, knock on the door, Darby comes out, dressed exquisitely, and goes, Captain Mott, Ryan isn't home at the present. Although I heard he's in Ballantine, he just went out for his patrol and hasn't quite come back yet. And Mott nods, yes, he found these two, as he pats on the shoulders of you two, and Mr. Darby looks down. Oh, we're not interested in adopting. And he goes, oh no, there have come squires. Commander Varning has had to fill out some paperwork and pick up some slack there since he returned early from the ranging. James goes, well, I do hope he has a chance to come home soon. Ryan does complain so much about the bed in that cell you trap him in. Far too hard for someone of his standing. Mott goes, well, it's a soldier's bed, and it keeps him sharp. He goes, yes. And I suppose these two I'm to know in case they're sent to fetch Lord Varning. He goes, yeah, in case they're sent to fetch Captain Varning. Of course. May I ask your names, young ones?
I'm Meaton.
Val.
He goes, I see, at Mitten, and kind of, it's a pleasure to meet you, well-behaved young man, at Fowl. Well, right. I suppose I should resume my preparations for Lord Varning's return. It's kind of a Mott's like, call him Captain, and Darby is like, no, call him Lord. And Mott goes, of course, as Darby heads inside. Mott goes, Varning's house is a little large on account of him being the son of a duke. James is a little bit of a deviant, but he's a good enough manservant. He continues walking along, and as you walk by here, he kind of pushes you to the other side of the road as a voice goes, Mead, mead, buy from Mr. Timmons' meadery. And then you go on a little bit further. As you walk by, Mott points to 14 and goes, there's the Morgenstern family's general store. It handles ropes, tools, and backpacks, mostly. I don't think we'll need anything in particular from there. We get most of that sort of supply from the capital, but should a need arise for spare rope, you may be called upon. He continues walking along to here. And as he comes in, he points to that spot. There's the estate house of Dominic Vallison, the village reeve. He was educated in Gaston Hall. If you end up deciding that you're interested in renting the home, he's the one you would be speaking to. He's a bit of a fop. Town hall is across the way. It is, well, it's the first building ever built in town, on top of the old Alban Cross Inn. You shouldn't have any need to go there. I look to see if he's going to head down to there. He goes, I normally wouldn't lead you here, but since we have a wizard, I should show it. He comes down here where there's an alchemist. He opens it up and goes, Tereth, are you here? I think I'll make a token for Tereth. Because Tereth is the sort of person that you may theoretically want to be speaking with in the future. And when you head in there, you see Tereth. And Tereth goes, Mott, you don't come here very frequently. Is your wife's stomach bothering her again? And he goes, oh no, the medicine you provided previously has done a very excellent job of helping to keep that odd sickness that came along in the mornings under control. And Caldwin goes, I'm so happy for her.
He hasn't noticed.
As he looks through you and says, so, who are the children? Mott goes, you don't need to worry about Mitten. This one's Fal. He's new apprentice to Magister Tacitus. Thought you might want to know that he was here. And Talrith here nods and goes, okay, of course. And continues to do some kind of puttering. Fal can recognize him as an artificer.
Oh, he's an artificer too?
An alchemist.
Alchemist artificer.
Yeah. Like what he's doing, Fal's like, oh, this is like what I do with my metal dog, but potions.
Looks like we study the same thing. A bit different, though.
Secondary target located. Poison's possible.
Mott kind of looks at you and goes, Tereth isn't a wizard. To which Tereth goes, well, not a wizard per se, but there's lots of ways to deal with magic, and alchemy is one of them.
We would, Fal will also pipe up, we would be what you would call artificers.
And Tereth goes, I'm an alchemist. Artificer. Oh. So this young artificer is becoming a wizard. Oh my. Oh. Try not to blow up the fortress, little one. At which Mott goes, what? And Tara turns and says, artificers specialize in making magical items. And when they gain the knowledge of wizards, those magical items, as their first experiment, can be rather volatile. Mott looks to Fal, just like, I hope you're not going to blow anything up.
I'll try my best.
Right, well, yes. Tacitus doesn't come by normally. He normally orders things from the Mages' College in Gaston Hall, but, well, if you do need herbs or equipment, or help translating some of the more arcane, theoretical works of the wizards into something practical and useful, I'll be glad to give you an assistance if I can.
Thank you, that would be great.
Of course. I am here in my hours from 7 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the evening. Do not bother me at home.
Noted.
And Mott goes, right. He's an oddball. Well, as we carry along here, pointing over to Five, that's Mama Giuseppe's house. You'll learn a little bit more about that. And then he stops and goes, wait, wizard! I almost forgot. I have never been in here, but I suppose it's very important. As he leads you down here to this small little building that says, Jacobian Sacramore, Attorney at Law. And goes, knock, knock, knock.
Fluffy. I thought the Bohemian cream was yellow.
I do not want Lawyer Dad. I suppose that will do. No, that's not what I want. I want to have what I want. Come on now, give me what I want. Be psychic, Pinterest. Ooh, I should add that to my character art. I like that. That's not what I want, but I like it.
Also, I just squealed.
Why?
Because this just got spoiled. Hang on, wait. I'll just throw it in general. General crap. Ship posting. It'll go. This.
Werewolf the Apocalypse.
They haven't even finished the new vampire game, and they're giving a werewolf game?
This is from someone different, I think. But oh my god, I watched it and it looks so good to the source material.
No, that's the same studio.
Is it the same studio?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the same studio. I'll watch it later. Because I'm trying to find... You know what? That is what I want, only I would want him not actively casting magic, but that is good enough. As you open the door, and there is a blue-skinned tiefling. As you knock and enter this room, to see a blue-skinned tiefling with a robe who looks up and goes, Captain Mott, divorce? She goes, no. Why? And he goes,
Twin powers activate. Turn Is he the only one who doesn't realize his wife is cheating on him?
As he goes, oh, well, I don't imagine any other potentiality where you could possibly need legal assistance. Well, no matter. Adoption, then? Looking down at the children, to which Mott goes, no, I need to introduce you to this one. And he pats on Dern's shoulder, and the tiefling goes, why? And Mott goes, Tacitus says you're a wizard, and that you provide him parchment for scrolls. This is Tacitus' new apprentice. To which he turns around and goes, you have an apprentice and you didn't tell me? And Tacitus comes out of the other room. Going, well, I don't know if he's going to last long enough to matter. And Jacobin goes, there's liability paperwork we need to draw up if there's an apprentice involved. It could affect your insurance policy. And just walks right over to a wall and goes, magic word, and the wall folds back and it's full of books, and he starts plucking off books and tossing them down, and Mott goes, right.
I feel like Asmodeus would be pleased by this show of law.
Yes. And this guy's just walking along going, by Mitra, justice does not flow without proper paperwork. And at that point, you can see, the holy symbol of Mitra on this guy's chest. Yeah.
In my head, just, deep sigh and slump. Like one of the anime things of seeing inside their heads. He's almost perfect. Why can't he just worship Asmodeus? He'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Sal's just going to look up at Mott. I think you gave, you might have given him anxiety or a headache.
Mott goes, And then walks over to Tacitus and leans over and whispers, and, Goran you can hear, because you're very perceptive. He goes, you really should be careful if you hang around this deviant. People may talk. To which Tacitus goes, it's not illegal, and he's the only other person in these parts with any understanding of magic. They're all cretins, aren't they, Jacobian? To which he goes, oh, they're not all that bad. Ederly and Darby throw wonderful dinner parties. As he kind of pats Tacitus on the shoulder a little, Goran catching a, oh, Tacitus, you're so beautiful, followed by a, I'm completely oblivious sort of one-way flirtation.
Goran, second thoughts about killing these two. If only because they make such a cute couple.
Yeah, it's a Jacobian's probably gay for Tacitus, but Tacitus is not only not gay, but completely oblivious.
I'm assuming Mott, when he says the deviants, he's referring to gay people.
Yeah. Yeah, that is exactly what Mott means. Every time Mott says deviant, he means sexual deviant.
Yes.
He must be punished for this. I know how to punish him.
Yeah. Mott is maybe a few steps shy of, one must never permit the communists to steal your seed.
I imagine in character, Dern knows, when we went to the alchemist, Dern knows immediately what he means by the sickness in the morning.
Yeah, you get the sense that there was a pregnancy and there is not a pregnancy any longer.
I imagine Dern just smiling deviously when he hears morning sicknesses.
Yes. And yeah, you get the sense that Ms. Mott and Mr. Ederly are It's not Ederly and Darby, it's Varnim and Darby who throw the excellent parties. Ederly is very heterosexual. Very heterosexual, with probably half the women in the town. Which, as you're kind of heading back, Mott will, if anything along those lines comes up, Mott will roll his eyes and start going on about Ederly's deviance and how important it is to be monogamous and honorable.
How does he know he hasn't tried to bang his wife?
Huh?
How does he know that Ederly hasn't tried to bang his wife?
Because his wife is an honorable woman who is chaste and loves Mitra. And he would very much be grateful if you never imply any disparagement to his wife again. Yes, that is Aldencross. So, any questions, comments, or concerns?
Nothing yet there.
There are a few numbered buildings that Mott did not consider relevant. Yes, I will quickly go through and reveal from this fog of war places that numbered locations that you know.
Yay, the key.
The illuminated scroll is the lawyer. There you go. There's the places you've been introduced to.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you get done, Mott will ask if you need an escort back to Ballantine. Because he figures you should probably go do that grocery shopping and get his wife what she wants, because she's a very good person and she doesn't deserve how busy he's been lately.
We can find our way back.
And he heads off to do responsible, honorable Volcel husband things. With a little reminder as he grabs Gorin's shoulders. Young Mitten, remember, deviance is a trap. It will corrupt your soul and blind you from the light of Mitra. And then head off. No such comment for Val. Val hasn't mentioned how beautiful men are. Leaving the two of you at the stone tower in Aldencross. With technically nothing going until the next morning. So what do you want to do? I turn the board over to you.
Don't we have our little ceremony soon?
What ceremony?
For our, being sworn in?
That was yesterday.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got mixed up. I was just double checking.
You did that the previous day.
Ooh.
Your duties begin tomorrow. So yesterday was swearing in, today was orientation, tomorrow is scrub the walls.
Would we be able to spend some time together? By ourselves?
Right now you are free to do whatever you want.
I'm going to drag Val to my room.
So you're going back to Valentine?
Is there anything we want to do in town? Cross? Because we still have a babysitter.
You do not have a babysitter right now.
Yeah, we don't have a babysitter.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah. Matt went to go buy vegetables, or I think beets specifically.
I thought we were still going to run into him.
No, we might run into him if we go into town.
You might. You could also, duck around and change your appearance to be a couple of halflings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In general, we are free for the rest of the day.
Yep. You could even go to the Lord's Dalliance and get drunk.
What should we do? Any ideas, Val?
I can't really think of much in town right at this moment. Because that would be a smart idea for the both of us, without redisguising ourselves, to walk into the alchemist and order some poison.
Might not be a wise idea to order poison from the alchemist anyway.
Yeah.
What if we would go? Oh, what if we went to go meet the one lady, the one who makes the soup? We could volunteer to help out maybe when she comes next time.
That doesn't sound all that bad.
We would just need to eventually be able to get the poison that we're going to need later.
If not some poison, maybe something to just disable them, like sleeping powder.
That would work.
Because, walking up to the alchemist and asking, hey, do you have anything that would kill people? Is not a good idea. But, hey, do you have any, something that can help me sleep at night?
True.
I don't see any harm in going to see if we can volunteer with the soup lady. For when she comes to visit and make the soup.
Let's go see her then.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to head off to the Giuseppe house.
Yes.
I haven't made her image yet. Well, let's make her situation here. That is perfect. You can go ahead and drag yourselves to spot 5 if you want.
Okay.
Oh no, it's not perfect. She's way too young. So as you knock on the door, you hear a soft voice go, "Oh, I'm coming, dearie. Please hang on one moment." And there it is, perfect. After a few minutes, an exceptionally old woman comes to the door. Hello, young ones. I don't think I know you.
Oh God! Oh God! I know what that artwork is from. She's not a werewolf, is she?
No, that's just the old woman I found.
I know, I'm just making the joke though. We're kind of new here.
I see. Well, you might... Well, have your parents not told you it's rude to knock on strangers' doors?
Oh, we're orphans. We just became squires up at Ballantine.
Oh. Oh, well, when I visit there in a few days, I will remind kindly your masters that you do need to be that they are also responsible for teaching you social niceties.
Well, actually, we didn't just knock on your door randomly. We actually wanted to see if we could offer, to help if you needed it. Next time you come.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
God, why didn't I make my charisma my big stats? I feel so naked with only a +4.
I feel so naked with only a reasonable modifier.
It must be higher!
I feel so naked with a modifier higher than diocese.
She goes, well, I could use the assistance of a couple of young, strapping men to help me load my cart. If you could come by my home, say, an hour before sunrise, in 4 days.
I'd be happy to.
Wonderful. I have quite a bit to load. That will save me having to wake the neighbors. It's been so unfortunate since my sons died. But the watch wall is good and protects all of Talengard. You are fortunate to be squires there. They produce very fine young men. And usually, ogres do not tear them to pieces in the gatehouse. My poor sons, Falmar and Mittani. What would your names be, young ones?
I'm Meaton.
And I'm Sal.
Oh my. Well, that is an awkward coincidence that the GM has totally not been chuckling about since you picked your names.
Wait, is that canonically your son's names?
Falmar and Mittani. Well. As she looks at you, she says, how old are you? Because it was, 11 years ago that my sons perished.
I'm 11.
She just looks at you and goes, oh. Well, Mitra smiles on me to send some kindly young men to assist me in my old age.
Tertiary target. Make the last month of this woman's life a happy one.
As she believes you are her sons come back from the dead to murder everyone and goes insane.
Secondary target. Convince her to start worshipping Asmodeus, that he has returned her sons to life.
You are monsters.
I'm a villain and I love every second of it.
Yeah. She invites you inside, gives you a couple of little savory sweets and a nice tall glasses of sarsaparilla.
Yay.
You know, and this is like homemade, like sarsaparilla carbonated with a ginger bug. I totally didn't watch videos on YouTube at work about that instead of working today.
As Garen is now in heaven of having sweets.
So, homemade sarsaparilla is actually a little bit bitter.
No, I mean like the sweets.
Oh yeah, but they're not super sweet. No, they're not super sweet. They're just kind of like slightly sweet crackers with a slightly bitter sarsaparilla. Very homely things.
Engaging twin connection. Can we give her some gold? I want to give her a little bit of gold. I think this could be useful.
Did you bring any?
Yes.
I didn't. So, on you.
Yeah, I carry most of our gold with us because I'm strong enough to carry it.
Yeah, I left my 3,000 gold in the box with Flufferkins with an alarm set on it that will mentally ping me if anyone touches it.
How much would 500 gold be here?
An average workman makes a silver piece a day.
Yeah, so 500 is like fucking insanely rich.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, we have 6,000.
Yeah. Is it wrong that I just had the thought of, hey, I can just give her $200 or 200 gold pieces and eventually loot what remains off of her corpse later on?
Yeah.
If I can't convert her.
Like 200 gold is like 100 gold is like a year's pay. It'd be like if someone came along and said, "Oh, how nice! Here's 150 grand."
She would be very confused.
Yeah. Like you two are almost the fantasy equivalent of low-level millionaires.
Oh, it feels good to have this much money.
Yeah, because 5,000 times 10 divided by 7 divided by 300 and divided by 52. 137 times a median income of 55,000. Oh yeah, you got like $7.5 million in the chest.
He has half of it, so
Yeah.
we have like $15 million in our money.
Well, like between the two of you, you have about that.
Yeah, okay. That's between the two of us because we each have 3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like that's a lot of money. Like when you showed up and said, "Oh, we got this much money," people are like, everyone in the car is like, "I beg your pardon." Now that said, some things are very expensive, like a house. That's very expensive, and most people build their own houses. Like that house back there, they're asking for like all your money. Pretty much but they're willing to rent it for 400 gold pieces a month. Which,
okay,
that's still like, oh, we'll gladly rent you this house for $150,000 a year or $150,000 a month.
Yeah, that's fucking highway robbery.
Yeah, but it's a big house. It's like it's a really big house back there. It's like a mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Is it wrong? I now want to break her mind, convince her that we are her children, and let her survive the invasion, and then take her with us
It's very
as our
yes.
mom.
It's very wrong, but that's the point of this game.
It's very wrong.
It is being our evil bitches.
It's not concoct a pedophile sex trafficking ring amongst the leadership of a holy order wrong, but it's pretty wrong.
Have either of you seen All Dogs Go to Heaven 2?
Nope.
Yeah.
I now want to start singing It Feels So Good to Be Bad.
When
But no, while we're here, I'm just going to kind of reach into my bag casually and start pulling out gold pieces when she's not, like, there, when she's doing something.
Okay. So she doesn't actually leave you alone. Like, she's very motherly and, oh, do you need anything else? Tell me stories about your hardships, young ones.
Tell her about the adventures we've been on. Tastefully edited, of course.
Go ahead and make me a deception check.
Well, it would be really deception to say that we murdered some, or we beat up, we destroyed some mechanical snakes when we already did.
We're seeing if she's going to pick up on the tasteful editing.
Just not mentioning anything that might be bad. Why do I roll a 2?
So you do successfully, not mention anything bad. But as you're watching, she gets a very concerned look on her face. And you can tell that she can tell that you're not telling her everything. But her mind, being kindly old grandma, has gone immediately to, oh, what horrible things are they sparing me from? And she immediately goes to her little drawer and digs out a little bag and hands each of you 2 gold pieces and says, you should make sure to start saving so that you don't have any more hardships, young ones.
Oh, no. Actually, you've been so nice to us. We actually wanted to give you something.
I refuse. And she, holds you to her chest, patting your head. Now you two should run along and get back to the Fortress Ballantine.
Did she touched me? Does she get a,
She does!
Oh no! I feel like it's what she said, though.
As you said, she face pointed you into her chest.
Yeah, I feel like that has to be oh fuck.
As she pats you on the head, and squeezes your horn.
Oh no.
And pulls back.
What are you supposed to
Eyes
do?
wide. What are you?
Oh, you didn't care about Ginger?
Big teary-eyed before just shuddering and just kind of curling up, like about to start crying and screaming. Please don't hurt me. 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 Please don't hurt me.
Deception check.
Perception checks?
She's made, please don't hurt me. Now you're going against her actual sense motive and not her little passive one. Which, fortunate for you, because she just rolled shit.
I mean, how could he remember when he was talking to Scatter every...
I'm trying to think if there's anything that could give me advantage here.
No. You need to give me that deception check. And she just stops and she looks down and goes, I see. And she grabs you and looks you up again and goes, I am not familiar with the creatures of the woodlands, but you disguise yourself out of fear, don't you?
Very slowly, reaching up towards where I have my hat on, making sure the doors are shut, that there's no windows that can see me. Remember the story where we went into the ruins and we beat the snakes and we found the money and the treasure and stuff? We also found these and, well, I mean, we are what we say we are. We're just not human. And, well, no one likes us. So, we stole these. And, well, we decided to try being human and trying to have a life among people where we wouldn't be hunted or killed.
Okay, Jim is loud.
Yeah, Jim is very loud.
Sorry. We had some trouble hearing you because loud Jim.
So what he said was, it's just we remember the story where we told about where we fought the snakes and got all the treasures and the magical stuff, and well, we found two other magical items too.
Okay.
1 second. And it's just when we found them, we wanted to have a life among people instead of being hunted or killed or treated like vermin. And well, we're pretending to. We stole these from the temple place that we were at. And I'm going to reach up and slowly take off, since she's already seen through my illusion, take off the knot from my head and show my true form.
You're going to take off the iron circlet.
Yes.
There's herb gardens.
I regret to inform you, you're not going to take off the iron circlet.
There's herb gardens.
Oh, I'm not?
Now this one I don't find that great.
This is the first time you've tried to take it off.
Is it a cursed magic item?
It does not come off.
Oh. Oh. Okay, I will drop the illusion except around the iron circlets. I'm going to keep it hidden. Or no, I'm going to change its appearance just so it doesn't have Asmodean symbols.
Okay. Would you make a deception check with advantage, please? Just because you just fed her a big steaming pile of bullshit.
God, I tried to use as much of the truth as I could.
As she looks to you, as you drop it, and she goes, Kobold.
There's source meditation in which you gain source points whenever you rest, which personally I don't.
Well, you're not telling me everything still.
The only reason I don't like it is
you don't get to be as old as I am, young one, without recognizing when someone's not telling you the truth. And you don't raise 2 children to the ripe old age of 45 without seeing when someone is lying to you.
Underneath the Fort Joy jungles, and we unlock the unlimited source. It doesn't matter.
Should. She turns to Fowl. What is the pretty talkative one not saying, young man?
Get later when we can't get resurrection scrolls as easily, but what it does is it brings back all dead people if you rest outside of combat. There's animal empathy where you can talk to your animal tactile talent, which if we get the one that adds extra talents, you might want this one. So do you want this
one?
Well,
young man, animal empathy doesn't explain anything.
It's new talent.
No, Tom, we can hear Chim crystal clear.
Yeah. Like, Chim is louder than you are.
Yeah.
Share our love with Chim. Chim is wonderful.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does turn to Dern and go, what is he not saying? Because Dern is quiet. She also, as she says this, reaches over and starts patting around Dern's head, feeling for horns.
As she's patting around, I'll go ahead and drop the illusion myself as well.
You drop the whole illusion?
No, keeping the circlet, not looking as Asmodean.
Well, what is he not telling me? Oh, she gets a perception check now because you dropped everything but the Asmodean circle.
Is your perception for what? If it's for the mark, I have wearing full chainmail armor. She would not be able to see it.
What about you, Tom, what are you wearing?
Tom is himself muted for it.
I'm just wearing my full leather armor, my normal uniform. I do not have my holy symbol in view.
And she does not notice, she does not see up your sleeve to see the brand. So you're good on that count. Yeah. She's just looking at Durham. What is he not telling me?
I'm very, like, trying to think of something to say. I can't think of anything.
She seems to be acting in a very nervous manner. Because you're not telling me something, and you're doing it on purpose. Are you spies?
Can I try speaking up?
Sure.
Because this is the truth. This is not a lie. The last time we talked or worked with or even saw humans, they came, they attacked us, they wiped out our entire warren except for us two and maybe a few others, and then they took all the gold, all the jewels, all the treasure that we mined away when we hadn't done anything to them.
So I'll let you make your deception check with advantage again. Because again, you're still hiding something. You're trying to convince her that this truth is the truth you were hiding. So give that to me again with advantage. You win. She stops and goes, "Ah. So in other words, we're very fortunate that you don't hate humans entirely." The Lord Commander will not be happy to learn that you two are not children, and it will be better if he hears it from you than from me. Lead with that, young man. It will go much further to making him understanding. I suppose I should give you a week to build up courage. I won't speak this week, but I do intend to speak to him about this next week when I come. Understood? Now, run along. Now, put your disguises back and run along. And if he uncovers your little secret without you telling him, he will be very angry. And he has not been a calm man since his wife died. Lord Haviland does not appreciate deception. Tell him soon. And she stands up and takes the dishes and turns her back to start washing them.
I will put my disguise back on.
I assume Goran does too.
Yes, I do.
Okay. As you head out, in what I imagine is a bit of a shit moment.
This is not good. We have a week to tell the paladin before she tells on us.
Well, fuck all kinds of ducks.
From what she says, if he finds out the paladin does not sound like a reasonable man.
Since when are humans ever reasonable?
Doesn't help that if we go through with our plan before then, she knows, so it'll be very suspicious.
If we go through with our current plan, she would need to... I'm assuming we're either whispering this or... God, I wish I could have taught you Thieves' Cant.
Well, I highly doubt there's going to be anyone between the road past town into Ballantine.
Are you heading back to Ballantine?
1, 2. Just open the bag.
Yeah. This is the busy road, and actually at this time of day there are people coming to and from Ballantine because the night shift is coming.
I guess we would be whispering at them.
Some of the morning shift is leaving.
Well, we would be whispering this.
Okay.
Because the big issue, if we do this, then she would need to be eliminated or silenced.
So, Dern may make an intelligence check, or nature check, whichever is better.
Intelligence or nature?
Yes.
Both are the same for me, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
So, Dern remembers seeing various sort of alchemical supplies in Tacitus's laboratory. You didn't really pay much attention to them, but if you don't want to buy poison, there's another option, theoretically. But you're not entirely, but you haven't noticed if he keeps anything of particular interest there.
Yeah.
Or do we start taking the route of elimination of those we need to? Or do we take the third route and reveal ourselves and possibly try to use that to earn goodwill?
I can live at a really good plate.
I mean, you know that if you reveal yourselves, the second anything starts going awry, you'll have all the attention on you.
Mm-hmm.
There's not even a check involved. You know.
What about tell me the odds of how I think the Lord would react to finding out we are kobolds?
You think
if it's a good idea.
You think that he would be immediately distrustful, that you would have to make probably a DC 15 deception check to get him to buy that you were, just scared and hiding and really do want to be helpful. And that there would probably be an even harder deception check later if things start to go awry in the fortress. Anyone who knows were to find out about it.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is how you feel about a DC 15 deception check.
It's something we can make. It's a lot harder for me than it would be for Tom.
I have a +4, it'd be pretty tough.
Yeah. You have a +4, I have a +2.
So Since you're going to tell me the odds, Modal also just kind of wink. Madame Giuseppe is a very old woman.
She's a very old woman. So if she were to die from a way that would not look like we actually murdered her...
Poison?
Later you're going to have more than one.
Or...
But I could put Lucky...
How could we kill her and make it look natural?
Because apparently me and Ivan just...
This would be where knowledge of nature or craft alchemy or something like that would come into play. Feel free to offer me a skill check.
Yeah, sure, knowledge of nature's fine.
Okay.
What about knowledge medicine?
Medicine is exactly it.
I have a -1 to that.
So, Mal, you don't know of any, ways that you can guarantee look like accidents. You're not very well versed in poisons, and most of your ways of killing people are build fancy gun that shoots them.
Yes.
I am, though. I'm very good with medicine.
So, there are several poisons that look very natural, and one that comes to mind is a poison that the humans used against your tribe. One that at first led you to think that there was an outbreak of cholera. Good old arsenic.
Good old arsenic.
So we could get some art. How would we get her to ingest the arsenic?
Step a little bit forward.
That's the question. How do you get her to eat the arsenic?
One sec.
And also, how do you get the arsenic?
I'm sorry. Wait,
Yeah.
can I just move the bag?
I'm assuming we might be able to get it from the alchemist, possibly. Does arsenic have any uses?
So you're not human. So I'll need you to make an intelligence check. Actually, no, this is a medicine check, so you can make a medicine check again. Arsenic's just a poison. What on earth could humans, what possible regular real-world uses could humans have for a poison that kills things that eat it?
Looks over at Dirk. Dirk, does arsenic have any uses that humans might know of? Yeah. You're the smart one.
Because it's cruel and sadistic, right? Just humans are cruel, but they're not so cruel as to actually use arsenic for something legitimate.
This is my nature check.
Rat poison.
Rat poison.
Arsenic's rat poison. So, as Goran is going on about how cruel it is and how, this is all it's good for, nothing, you just go, wait, don't humans, hate rats and pests when they use arsenic to just kill pests? Yeah.
I was just looking up arsenic. I found that the chemical symbol is ass. It's AS2S4. It's ass.
Part of me wants to just try to murder Sir Halen in his sleep.
Do you want to hear what the symptoms of arsenic poisoning are?
Yeah, what's the
What
symptom?
are they?
Vomiting, abdominal pain, and bloody diarrhea.
Oof.
The symptoms of ass.
And if you have acute arsenic poisoning, you essentially start puking, pissing, and shitting blood. Your hair all falls out. You go blind and you die. So, of course, it's very similar to cholera.
Oh.
Yeah.
So all we need to do to get some arsenic is to convince the alchemist we need some rat poisoning, because we have rat trouble.
Yep.
The main thing is how we would get her to drink it, or to ingest it.
Also, I need you to make a perception check on your way out of town.
There we go. Oh, you won't be able to move till Ivan moves.
Oh my. Well, alrighty then. Yeah, they can't beat that. So as you're on your way out of town, you see the alchemist
Not enough to
heading into the woods south of town.
Or some of them. I could always make a retreat though. I don't know.
Want to see where he's going?
Ladder up. I could try.
I'm not as stealthy as you, so maybe a good idea for you to see where he's going.
Then I will go see what he's doing by stealthing and following quietly.
Okay.
Well, Sword Princess drink.
Can't make that. So you head the way, and you find he leads you in the woods to a little hut and a map I haven't actually made because I forgot about it. So I'll bring you here while I quickly make this map.
One teleport check. I should be out of your way now.
Ooh, drop some grass there. There you go. Let's freehand this bitch.
I'm going
Background.
before them and just
Give me a
raise it,
wall.
and they have to walk all the way back to the locked door.
Give me a floor. Give me a floor that's actually good. Where's my good floor hiding? Come on. I have a good one somewhere, right? Really? I don't have a good one anywhere? I thought for sure I had wood somewhere. Well, we'll just live with that then.
Yeah, so let's see if I
I need to do this on the object layer because that's on the background layer. And then there we go. And boop and boop. And
Probably put
give
some
me a
red
door.
Armor. He was trying to attack someone he's already attacked.
Give me a. Did I really ditch my door that way? I could have sworn I didn't ditch my door, but apparently I ditched my door. Come back, door. I didn't mean it. I love you, door. You're important to me. You're not just a thing
Baby,
I
come
pull out.
back. You can blame it all on me.
Now, in this case, it's my fault because I cleaned up my assets and accidentally deleted my door. Okay. Also, yes, good. Let's fetch you two. And go to the secret lab. Hello? Why is it not showing anything? Do you not have vision? Okay, apparently we've got that shit again. Remember when it didn't give you your vision? We had to kill the server and restart it. So I'm gonna kill the server and restart it.
Right.
Well, that's why. I put you on the wrong layer. Okay. I need to kill the server again because of different reasons. I may actually have to restart map tool. Okay. Change to token. That fucking broke. Map. Restore fog of war. Start server. Okay. Everything should be good and ready for you. As you find yourself in a secret laboratory, or around a shack in a clearing in the woods. Don't know anything about secret laboratory yet. That's nonsense.
To the secret lab!
So, are you on this map? Okay, yeah. It's a small little hut in the woods that you see.
Right, when I teleport you.
Is there any windows?
There are not. He went into this small little area. Yeah, you saw him go into this room, this little room, very stealthily, like he was trying not to be noticed.
Should I transform, do you think, Dern?
I wouldn't think it would matter too much if he saw us in kobold form.
True. I'll take on my true form then.
Okay. And by true form, do you mean your true form, or your I'm an Asmodeus form?
My normal form, except my scales will be blue.
Okay. You got a blue form. I'm not going to make new tokens for you.
And I will do a similar thing, but my scales are yellow instead of green.
Okay.
And then head up quietly, sneaking to the door, just very, very quietly open it.
As you open the door, you see a large empty room.
I will step inside.
Okay, I need to actually
I was just
make this for you. I'm still prepping things. It's an empty room with a little door on the far side.
I also healed myself, forgetting that it required 3 AP. I couldn't hail strike the 2 of them, which if I did, would have froze them both.
Any signs of like any doors or other ways
There is
down?
a door on. There is. Can you not see the door over here?
Oh, no, I didn't see it. Sorry. I had to zoom in a bit to see it.
It's my standard door.
Move over to that door.
Okay.
Very quietly try to open it.
One moment, I am not quite ready for you.
No worries.
Maybe just not for traps.
When you open this door, you see an empty room full of debris.
Look around it.
You don't see anything. You saw the alchemist come into this building. He's nowhere to be seen.
Let's do our normal sweep and search, running my hands along the walls and the floors, looking for trapdoors or secret passages.
Okay, give me an investigation check with advantage.
Well, fuck a duck.
You see nothing. He seems to have vanished without a trace.
I could try it, but I'm not going to be as stealthy. I will attempt to be stealthy as I walk in.
Okay.
We really need to work on this.
And then I will
It's harder.
do I'll do the same thing that
Realistically, you should be able to freeze it.
Garnet did.
Freeze it. You, like, basically to freeze a wheel, it would need to be treated like a player getting chilled and then frozen.
So you see the tracks along the floor and notice that the stuff over here has been moved. And as you move it aside, you're like, why is he moving this rubble to and from this spot? There's nothing there. Oh, this flagstone is loose. You lift the flagstone up. You can see there's a little ladder that heads down. And you can hear a voice coming up going, "It's all right, it's all right. You'll be all right. We're just waiting on the proper time. Here, I just need to apply this. We don't want to rot now, do we?" "No." "Right. We just need to apply this. I'm certain my discoveries and inventions will be appreciated if we can find the proper time." Coming up through the hole is a voice saying that.
You mentioned rot?
You mentioned rot.
Going to head down first.
Okay. And you are in kobold form, right?
Yes. We are our kobold forms, but with different scale colors.
I'm actually going to go ahead and go get your kobold tokens so I don't confuse myself roleplay-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dern climbs down the ladder.
Oh, I said Goran go down first.
Oh, Goran go down first.
Because Goran is the stealth boy.
Goran go down first, right? Do you, Tom? Tom?
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. Yes. I said it 3 times that I didn't realize.
So Goran slides down. Go ahead and make a stealth check, Goran. As you slide down and you see Tareth Caldwin, the town alchemist, rubbing some sort of green solution all over a thing that I forgot to set the proper size to. There we are. That's what we want to see. A big thing that's currently like shackled to a table that seems to be made of different parts, chopped up and sewn together. As he rubs this going, now, shh. You only have to stay here until I come up with a good way to introduce you to Lord Haviland. Goes, and he goes, yes, I know, you're very strong, aren't you? Very strong.
Yeah, before I get to the bottom, when I start to see this, I'm going to retake my human form because it's like, I don't want that thing to get sicked on me. And I might be able to talk my way out of it as as Mitten rather than Goran.
Okay.
I'll deal with the rest.
So you drop down as Mitten.
Yep.
And the alchemist has not noticed you.
I just remembered I can have
Ooh.
barrel.
Oh, this could be very useful. This could be very useful. Oh, this could be so useful. I need to make a friend.
As he finishes that and then starts looking over, going, your arm is coming a little loose here. Let's tighten the stitches. Yes. There you are.
Do both
This is amazing.
That's one.
There's a little bit of a...
This
as
is
the
so
alchemist
cool.
turns to look at you, needle and thread, like partway through sewing some skin together on this creature.
Like, big, excited, wide smile and grin. This is so cool.
At that, Dern will reassume his own human form and slide down too.
You're like super amazing.
Yeah, poison or electric.
Big, wide, happy, excited grin. Can we help you at all?
Well, I don't know that you can.
Hi there. I'm Meaton. Nice to meet ya.
You know, it's fighting against things. Oh, calm down. It's one of the squires from the tower. He's a friend. He's a friend.
You said you want...
Fluffer's friend. And he goes, yes, but we shouldn't pet our friends. You're very strong. And at that, you kind of notice there's like a cat in the corner that's broken in half. Fluffer's friend. Do you promise not to pet our new friends? Okay. Good. We're done doing maintenance for now. And the corpse, he unhooks the corpse, and the corpse stands up and goes into the corner and picks up this barely held together by sinew cat corpse and sits down and starts petting it. And as it pets, like, it's like sandpaper pulling skin back. Like, it's pretty clear that this thing just, like, snapped the cat's neck the first time it tried to pet it.
Do I know anything about what he's doing with this giant corpse?
You could make an Arcana check.
Flesh golem.
Flesh golem. That's a flesh golem. That's an alchemical flesh golem.
Hello, useful friend. Hello, very useful friend who might survive the purge of Valentine.
I thought I was gonna pipe up. Flesh doesn't seem all that practical, nor humane, to be fair.
Well, people don't understand, but it's very strong. With the proper alchemical treatment, flesh becomes just immune to electrical damage, poison damage, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical attacks that are not adamantine. It's resistant to magic.
Could you imagine like a whole force of creatures like that, of people like that? It'd be unstoppable.
I know. It would be a force. By Mitra, we could plant some fallen by the wall, and we could protect Mitra's faithful, a first line of defense.
Wait, why stop at that? Why don't you take with that kind of force? Why don't you take over all the wildlands and bring them into Mitra's light?
Well,
if these creatures are as strong as you're saying, like, what could the savages do against them?
Complicated, but
I'm not a military mind. I'm an alchemist, and I realized that these chemicals could reanimate dead tissue with proper electrical components, and
I was shocked, and when you
I began my experiments. My colleagues back home in the Theron did not approve. I was banished, but I escaped. I escaped being sent to Brandiskar, rebranded myself, disguised myself, and I love Mitra, and the people of Mitra will love these creations. I do understand they're a little odd, though. It's to be understood.
He was not branded, correct?
He was not branded.
Okay.
Wait, is he? Did the people of this campaign really make a, like, Herbert West reanimator kind of guy?
He's Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
He's Dr. Frankenstein. But yeah, now that you mention it, yeah, this is definitely Dr. Frankenstein meets Herbert West reanimator.
Yeah, because he's, like, rubbing some green gooeys on.
Yep.
Which the reanimation agent is bright green fluorescent.
In the shitty movie it is. In the shitty movie it is. In the book, I don't remember. It's been 10 years since I've read the book.
Mr. Tereth?
Yes, and I moved first.
Of course.
I don't understand why people would be so against it, because once a person dies, the soul leaves. The body's just a lifeless, empty husk. The person isn't there anymore. They go to wherever they're supposed to go.
Well,
so why not make the body useful again and helpful for people who are still around?
Well, that's dangerous thinking, because it's very similar in appearance to necromancy, and necromancy is a dark art Asmodeus cast upon the world, which corrupts and bleeds life from everything it touches. No, and this is not necromancy. This creature is not undead. You're not a creature, young one. We haven't named you yet. It's okay. It's okay. Daddy does love you. But, not undead. This is not undead. This is much like an iron golem or an ice golem crafted with magic to animate the tissue. It's a little bit more capable of thought because there is still a brain. Not particularly much in this case, unfortunately. You would need a fresh brain for that, and that would be immoral. But this does not impact the soul and such. But the reason people are distasteful, young one, is because of the similarity to necromancy, which is rightly banned. Rightly banned.
Detect magic?
So, this is a golem. This is animated by magic. It is not animated by necromancy. It is animated by transmutation magic. Its flesh is woven in with I can't remember. It's not aberration.
Abjuration?
Abjuration, thank you.
Question, Kit.
Yep.
Based on what I know about Cardinal Thorn, would he be interested in if we could corrupt and turn an alchemist who could create flesh golems?
You have no idea beyond probably yes.
It seems like it could be useful.
It's a flesh golem. You just heard this guy describe it being immune to just about everything.
So basically, if I had a force of like 10 or 20 of these, I could take down Valentine single-handedly.
You don't know.
If I could get him inside.
You're not 100% about that, but you're like, this is a,
scary thing.
Yeah.
How much of what he said would I know is true like that?
With your Arcana roll that you made, you actually don't know. You recognize it as a flesh golem, but you don't know what he said is or is not true.
So, it's like you set up a whole bunch of dominoes, took out the halfway point.
So you wanted, I heard when I was coming down, also sorry for sneaking in, apologies, but you wanted to show eventually Lord Thomas this creature?
Lord Commander Haviland. Use the proper language, young man. It's important. It's important. It's a little. It's too familiar to call Lord Haviland Thomas.
Sorry, we didn't really use titles or much back home.
Yes, well, I think that this could be an excellent defender to assist the Fortress Ballantine, but I do want to get its behavior a little bit better. Hopefully make it so it can wear clothing without ripping those clothing to pieces. Not recoil in terror from fire. And then I thought perhaps speaking with Father Donegan might be the wiser choice, because Donegan will recognize that this is not necromancy.
Kent looks over at Dirk. Big brother, couldn't you make it like a big suit of armor so it kind of... Not that it looks bad, but I mean, most people probably wouldn't understand looking at it. They might get scared.
Oh, it definitely does look bad. The problem we have now with that idea, young man, is he doesn't like wearing anything. And this fresh golem is wearing pants, but it's in the process of tearing those pants off at this point. And chewing on the cat.
He can't walk.
You're not supposed to chew on kitties.
No. He goes, no purr. Well, you've killed it, you understand? No purr. Oh, it's not very intelligent. He crouches down before it. You killed the cat, and it cannot purr. Make purr.
There's someone who.
Ghost sound?
Is that him attacking?
No, that was a. Don't worry about that.
Oh, fuck, no.
What are you doing?
I know what that is.
What do you mean you know what that is?
Don't worry about it. You don't ever want him to roll a 1, though.
Oh, is that the control?
No, that's where it goes berserk and tries to murder everyone.
Yeah, his control over it.
Knockdown.
So what were you saying about ghost sound?
No, Darren was going to go up and look at the guy. May I see the kitty real quick?
It looks at you. Kitty.
It's all exploded.
No purr. And holds it close to its chest, like mine.
I can make it purr.
Just past all
Tareth
those
looks and says, give him the kitty. So it's not a 1, Tom.
Is that a 2?
No. The DC 15 to keep itself under control.
Oh no.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that hard.
As it immediately turns and throws the cat at Taryn and goes, no purr! And Taryn goes, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up!
Grabs Stern and drags him back.
As it starts like grabbing things and throwing them across the room. Goes, time to get out, it'll be calm in the morning.
Wait, did I see the cat body anywhere?
There is a cat body. If you want to get close to it, we would have an initiative.
No, I was just if it was not near him, I would have done it. But is it near him?
It's near enough that there would be an initiative roll involved if you want to get to the cat.
God damn! All I had to do was touch it.
Hang on. I can try to get to it.
Okay, initiative.
Dealt so much damage to these guys through my boss. Good thing I healed
You
already.
go first.
Move. Grab it.
The silent monk that walked up to you.
And then...
Bonus action, move back.
Yup.
I need an initiative from Dern
Wait, that's right.
to see whether Dern can do his cat thing before corpse acts.
Explode at first was the oil that was set him.
Nope.
Awesome.
So, perception check here.
And silent monk. You could blood rain or something.
Bum, bum, smash, smash.
Normally.
Calls out cat.
I will do magical tinkering. I can make it emit non-verbal sounds, such as purring.
So as you do, it stops. It comes over and goes, kitty.
I'm going to hold out the kitty to it.
Takes the kitty. How long does it keep purring?
Indefinitely until I choose to end it.
That's good.
It just goes, kitty purr.
We fixed the kitty for you.
Now here's the really important roll that you do not want it to succeed. It purr. It did not succeed the intelligence check to be like, wait, Master lied. It is now calm again with its purring kitty.
I'm going to move back up, climb up, poke head out. It's okay, it's safe now. Then go back down.
What did you do? Tinkering?
Yeah, my brother is an artificer.
I just wanted to purr. Purring is pretty simple.
Mitra, this is a blessing.
I'm not actually doing this, but I just imagine Gordon over in the corner. Zodius.
This is a blessing. Mitra must have sent you.
Zodius.
So beautiful. Isn't it beautiful? I've almost got it under control. Loves the purring of the kitten. I think we found the secret to keep it calm. Throws and pats you on the head.
Oh god, touch me. He touched me. No.
Only certain moves don't.
Oh no!
Wisdom!
You didn't even
Oh, he failed.
I rolled an 8. Not a very wise person.
get away from death, and Ivan is now happy. You battle stop.
My. Your Tacitus is young one, right?
Do that.
Yes, sir.
Maybe Tacitus would be a better person than Father Donegan to bring in here. What do you think? But Lord Haviland doesn't trust Tacitus.
What about both of them together?
Do you think we could arrange for both of them together to come and view a research?
Looks over at Dern. Brother, telepathy, activate. You know, Dern, this would be a very good way of disposing of 2 thorns with 1 stone here, if we ever needed to, and we might have a help of, tall, dark, and loves purring dead cats.
I just realized something.
What?
So my magic, the purring is the thing that's keeping him calm right now, right?
Yeah?
We could have the priest guy and the wizard come and view it, and then I can shut off the magic tinkering to make it stop purring.
Oh my! You are coming up with wonderful evil plans.
I love this. You know, it'd be a real bitch move if I hit R right now. Real bitch move. And I just imagine us sitting back, eating popcorn, cackling maniacally. We're totally doing this. I mean, we could probably arrange it for you. It wouldn't be a problem at all.
You are Mitra's chosen, sent to help save us all. Some idiot on Twitter's like, no, Confederate generals weren't traitors. Reference to Confederate historian apologist website. With the one that someone else going, yeah, they were.
Was it centered on the blood? Maybe the blood was too broken up.
Oh, you were totally doing this. Yeah, no, I mean, Dern actually lives with the guy, so he could talk to him.
Did you say Dern?
Wow, no, sorry, I would have said your actual name. I was looking at your token. Yeah, my brother actually stays with Tacitus, and I could go talk to Father Donegan.
Such good fortune that you're here. And I think that is a good place to start settling things off, because now I have to plan things and go, oh God, consequences. So.
What alignment is this guy, just out of curiosity?
Oh, chaotic good.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I want him.
He's not doing any necromancy. He's not, okay, he's desecrating corpses, but it's for a good cause.
Yeah. I just like to imagine priest and wizard guy. This thing is pretty interesting. Cat immediately stops purring.
I think so.
That could be a thing.
And if it is resistant to magic, as he said, the wizard's not going to be much of a threat against it.
That could be a thing. This is not at all what the person who wrote this was expecting you to do.
Is it what they were expecting us to do?
No.
Oh.
You guys are following this completely. Like they're like, there's like 3 or 4 things the party might decide to do, and then you're not doing any of them.
Great. Will slowly but surely kill themselves.
So, favorite and least favorite parts of session.
Everything.
You hated everything? Oh no.
I loved everything.
There's nothing you love more. Nothing stand out.
That's it.
A lot of blood around the skin, right? That's what I touched on.
Everyone knows Miss Mott is sleeping with Mr. Ederly, but everyone's too polite to say anything.
Right?
She got fucking pregnant with me.
Yeah.
The tank here.
Actually, if you converse with the alchemist will think that Mott knocked up his wife and she didn't want it. Alchemist is oblivious. Alchemist is like the only, Alchemist and Mott are like the only people in town who don't know.
I can't look at this
Oh god. What do you think of everything so far, kids?
At least we're not doing any pedo bullshit.
Yet.
Next episode, Herbert West, Reanimator. I'm kind of, whoa, it's been 3 hours. Wasn't expecting
Really?
that. According to my broadcast timer,
Yeah,
it has been
it's
2 hours and
6:30 now.
57 minutes, yeah.
It's 6:30. We started at 3.
I've been having so much fun with this session.
Yes.
Yeah. The info dump was like the info dump tour was like an hour and a half.
Mhm.
I was like, this is running longer than I expected.
Did you enjoy the session, kids?
Oh, it's a thing.
for 6 rounds.
Where I'm done with the info dump phase, so I will enjoy things a little bit more as I don't have to constantly be going back and forth in a book going, oh, and here's information you need. And get to go back and forth in a book going, oh god, what are they going to do now?
What, us? Do things? Why would you think that?
I
No,
mean,
it's time
what
for the
will the
planning.
fortress do in response to what you do? Because it's a living, breathing entity.
Yeah, now it's just time for the planning.
Please, something.
Yeah.
And hopefully not getting found out immediately by other people.
I mean, is it totally wrong that I kind of want to try to invite Sir Thomas there and then stick the golem on him?
Oh, he's a paladin. He's gonna kill the golem.
Is the golem evil?
It's an undead, isn't it?
No, it
It's a
is
construct.
not undead. It is a construct animated with transmutation magic.
It's probably neutral alignment.
Yeah.
Your smite does nothing, bitch.
He's still probably
Rolls at the ready, and
a level 10 paladin with a magic weapon.
die again.
You don't have a magic weapon.
He does have a magic weapon. Kit specifically said he had a magic weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dern was doing the detect magic thing. Dern saw that a lot of them have magic weapons.
Which is why the thing that's resistant to magic spells would be a good thing to murder the wizard and the priest with.
True.
Because it's not an undead, so the priest can't really hurt it. And it's resistant to the spells that the wizard's going to cast.
I like it.
Tell me the odds. If they go dead and you tell them, they're probably going to be telling people where they're going and why they're going.
Well, that's where we said that we were told by the alchemist that he wanted to show them something.
Sure to be a rotation.
You're going to try and pin this all on the alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
It is a way we can get two of our oppositions dead without attracting too much attention.
And then if the alchemist is desperate, well, it just so happens that even if Mitra abandons him, well, there's someone else who's ready to help him.
Oh. This is, Corin's just gonna collect all these broken, formerly good people. And then I'm going to have to keep track of all of their stats and be like,
I'm starting a cult.
I love it. It's great.
As I pray to Asmodeus to let me become his priest and burn me in his unholy hellfires to make me into a true cleric of his.
I imagine you don't want to level up to cleric until after you've started getting things and not having to be stealthy in the temple.
Probably not. The problem is just like, it feels like it's going to be so hard the higher up I go to class into cleric.
Well, you haven't gained a level this session, so.
Yeah.
Is the next level the one you want to be cleric?
I don't know. I've been debating about it because it's like I get my next sneak attack I think at level 5, so it's like that's really good.
Are you level 4 right now?
Yeah, we're level 4.
Yeah, we're both good.
That's right.
Yep, you get your 3d6 sneak attack at 5th level.
Yep.
And uncanny dodge.
Ooh.
Which will he can use a reaction to half the damage of an attack you're taking.
And it's the part where I wish we did have experience that we could possibly level up faster since there's only the 2 of us. We got this, though. We got this. It's only the first day, or the second day, and we're already making plans and doing horrible things, and probably horrible things are going to happen to us.
Yep.
Yeah. So we did put a 3rd time limit on ourselves of a week before she tells the paladin that we are kobolds.
Huh? So she needs to die within a week.
Either she needs to die within a week, or we need to come out and say that we are kobolds within a week.
Mm-hmm.
Because as she said, he's probably going to be a bit more receptive if we ourselves come out to tell him that we are kobolds.
Yep. And you're pretty sure he's not going to be all that receptive.
Yeah. My hope is that if we do have to come out ourselves and say that we are kobolds, he might be a little bit more lenient, considering the fact that we did still swear an oath to Mitra.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, you'll have a check to make. You guys have a very good story, which gives you advantage, which cancels out the disadvantage you have in being really distrusting.
Why did I put my points into charisma?
Because you're not a diplomancer, you're a sneaky murder beast.
Yeah, you're sneaky stab.
It's just for some reason you all decided to go bluff instead of sneak in and kill people in their sleep.
Yeah.
It's made everything hilarious and entertaining.
Yes.
And it's, as everything's beginning to come together, it's also beginning to unravel.
We are very fumbling.
I think next session we're going to start having things be glorious in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if one of us dies here?
I don't know.
Worse, what happens if both of us die here?
Game over.
I don't want to be dead.
If both of you die here, the Sakarat's armies are probably defeated, and Cardinal Thorn's plans die with you.
Yeah. You gotta remember, we are the like, straw to break the camel's back both ways.
Yeah.
This hurts me on so many levels.
If push comes to shove, we have an ice golem and a flesh golem.
Cardinal Thorn needs to be betrayed eventually at the first opportunity. Because any idiot who does a plan like this should be shot. You never create a plan with a single point of failure that can crush the entire thing.
You don't even know his plan.
Plans within plans.
You also don't want really complicated plans because that just causes more moving parts and more points of potential failure.
By the way, Tom, was that thing you quoted like a league thing?
What?
It'd be a real shame to press my arm right now.
Yes.
That one, by the way, Tom, is exactly the problem Thorn has. He's got a very convoluted plan.
Plans within plans.
And as things go on, shit's gonna start not working, and he's gonna have to be like, shit. The Nessian not knows how to fix things. Hey, Gorin, Dern, I need you to do this thing. You're so talented.
My response here, though, is, okay, so there's an ancient artifact we want. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send my evil armies and minions off after a different artifact, and then while the heroes go off to try to stop them, I'm going to put a one-tat in my local paper.
My real big move. Not my other one.
Well, we'll see. We will see.
We will see what happens when I pop my ultimate.
Or, my favorite thing, I will ban all mirrors throughout the realm. And anytime I see my reflection or see a mirror, I will act in utter abject terror of it. And then, when the hero comes and whips out a mirror, I will stab them, look at myself in the mirror, and go, I think I need a shave.
Oh, Jesus Christ, did they buff Senna?
Just be
Why
like,
the fuck did they do that?
I hate mirrors. Such body dysphoria.
Oh god, Tom, they buffed Senna.
I like Senna.
They buffed her.
Good.
No! Bad!
Good.
No!
I'm really excited for the second book. I really want to build my own dungeon and let my evil overlord shine.
Actually, for you, Tom, I am most excited for the last book.
Where I get to run my own evil empire?
Yes.
You mean, and not run it into the ground and act like an utter douche and actually make my people hate me? Because that's the one way you become the stupid evil overlord, not the smart evil overlord.
Oh no, I am seriously looking forward to when you end up becoming the stupid evil overlord.
I will not become the stupid evil overlord. I will be the smart smart evil overlord. I will have my people loving me. And then, whenever this big battle happens at the end, I'm going to have my whole armies flock to me, and there's only going to be a little paltry resistance because everyone loves me and will follow me instead of them. Does that matter at all if people actually like us or not?
It has consequences. The big question, of course, will be, what are you doing to make them like you, and how are you fucking it up and not realizing it?
What the fuck? Tom!
Yes?
You know how Senna gets random little mist spawns from minions?
Yes.
Increase that from 1.67% to 8.33.
I approve. Also, Kit, you're forgetting one very important thing for this.
What?
You're playing with me.
I'm really not.
Why?
Because I'm playing with you.
Then you must know that even... Do you not remember the, I can't remember what the path line is.
I trust that you will play Gorin.
Yeah, I probably will.
I trust that you will hit a moment where you'll go, this is what I need to do to not be stupid evil overlord, but Gorin would do it.
You're not wrong.
Exactly.
Forgot. Well, no, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about for the final battle. You're talking about me, though. The guy who fought the Frankenstein's monster that we weren't supposed to fight and killed it.
Yeah, it's okay. You'll be fine. I think that it will be an absolutely glorious moment. I think that it will be a fight that you'll go, okay, this is an epic way to lose. And I think you will agree with me that if we're getting the full, fantasy villain experience, you need to lose.
So what would happen if we came to them and gave up? They would just kill us?
If you came to who and gave up?
In the final battle, instead of fighting, just surrendering.
Would you?
I don't know at that point. I don't know what the characters would become.
Assuming your characters grow ever more powerful, with their every whim being granted, would you surrender? When something that has been a thorn in your side, a pest, finally comes here to bother you face to face?
I can see one big reason why Gordon would consider it.
Well, I hope we learn what that is so we can crush it.
Saving his brother's life.
Well, let's see if we get a chance to crush that.
Like, Gorin, beyond all else, anything threatens Derd, he will destroy it. If there is danger or threat or anything that bothers his brother, Gorin will end it completely and utterly and horrifically.
That's what I would expect from something threatening his brother. Not, I surrender, but, I kill you.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I look forward to book 6 with you the most, but we definitely need to go through all the other books to get there.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The build-up.
Yep. The slow transformation of Gorin Dern, who I am expecting may spend more and more time in the Mattis and Fall disguises as you move forward. Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Transformation of you from small, slightly cowardly to small and proud.
Yes.
So here's what we need to do. We need to go in and slay a dragon.
We're gonna go in and slay a dragon?
Yep.
What dragon?
That's easier said than done.
I don't know. We need a dragon, though. Imagine kobolds being masters of a dragon.
Instead of the dragons being masters of kobolds?
Uh-huh.
Shh. No one who knows what happens in the way of the wicked tell them. No one tell them.
What?
If they're dragons and Way of the Wicked?
I will tell you nothing.
I want a pet dragon. I want to break a dragon and make them serve me and Asmodeus. They will be Asmodeus' Durgan.
Well, we'll see where we go. For now, next time, Herbert West Reanimator.
Herbert West Reanimator. And it's fitting too, because in Herbert West Reanimator, his little reanimated thing ended up killing people.
Yeah. It's almost as though Herbert West Reanimator is a ripoff of Frankenstein. It's like Frankenstein with racism.
Time of racism.
What?
You racist motherfuckers.
H.P. Lovecraft did not write very much that was actually good, as much as I love him. He was a racist shit who mostly wrote overly
Oh yeah, I know
flowery-
about how racist his thing.
Oh, yeah, he was horrifically racist.
Yeah.
Like that one cat in the Rats in the Wall.
Anything invented wears.
Or his real cat.
And some of the
Yeah,
others-
which is the same name as the one in the Rats in the Walls.
Yeah.
Which is N-word man.
Go into
Or
both
his,
but like I had lockpicks in 2 different
His wife who left him because he was too obsessed with his mother.
I had items that counted as crafting materials in a
Like, oh god,
non-crafting-
and Lovecraft was like an
a
incel
bag that
poster.
you could sell
He like
whatever was
wrote
in
letters to magazines and just all sorts of, just the worst stuff. That said, I do love me at the Mountains of Madness. And even though it's derivative and rips off Frankenstein, I do love me Herbert West Reanimator. And what's that other one? The one I really like, the other long one. It's been so long since I've read Lovecraft.
The Color?
Color Out of Space, which is actually a really good movie.
That's a good story, but it's one of his longer ones that I'm trying to remember. It is Jordan Pym is good. That's not the one I'm thinking of. What is it? I'm looking at the full list of his stuff, and I'm hoping I'll see it and remember it. It's not one that most people have read, but it's really good.
Still, Tom, I'm not looking forward to it.
What?
I'm not looking forward to Senna getting 5 times more souls.
I am.
I am not.
It'll be great.
It's not going to be great.
Why am I not seeing it on this list? I could have sworn I had a nice, regular-looking name.
Would it be in the his Great Tales of Horror book?
I don't know.
What are some other old ones?
Why can I not remember the name of this?
I liked the thing on the doorstep. That was a good one.
I'm going to go walk over to my bookshelf and see if I have the book it's in. Or if it's one of the books my mother never sent me from Nebraska.
Do you not want the Mentor's Mental?
I do not much like an infinitely stacking champion, infinitely stacking faster.
Okay.
Bad Tom. You hear me, Tom?
These bags can be useful. It's just right now.
What's up?
I really... Do you hear me, Tom? I really don't like infinite stack champion, infinite stack faster.
I love Infinite Stack Champions.
Well, I do like infinite stacking champions, but I don't think she should stack any faster. Because once she gets soul fragment, or the souls, she gets bonus range, natural critical strike chance, and after 100% lifesteal.
Oh, I know. I
it.
used to main her.
On a chance it's going to do with like full AD, possibly full lethality.
Full lethality was the old build.
Yeah. I know Grasp is a new one.
Book is still
Making her even more infinitely scaling.
Because if I had my book, I would be able to pull it up. I know exactly where it is in the book because I've got a dog here.
And then I need to reduce my inventory by quite a bit of weight.
The Call of Cthulhu, Calling Out of Space, Lurking Fear, the music of Rich Zane, Dagon, Hickman's Model, The Dunwich Horror, The Statement of Randolph Carter, In the Vault, Cool Air, The Thing on the Doorstep, The Dreams in the Witch's House, The Shadow over Innsmouth, At the Mountains of Madness, Herbert West Reanimator, The Rats in the Wall, The Case of...
How long is that one?
How long is which one?
That's not it. Just trying to remember.
Because what's her face saw me and she did not approve.
The Case of Charles Dexter Ward.
I was going to say, it's the next one up.
That's the one. The Case of Charles Dexter Ward.
Yeah, it's in his great Tales of Horror.
Yeah. That's the one that no one's read. It's really good. That's my favorite one that's my second favorite one after At the Mountains of Madness.
I haven't read both. I haven't read either of those. Out of the ones I've read, I really liked Cold Air, and I really liked The Thing on the Doorstep.
Cold Air is good. Yeah, here it is. Case of Charles Dexter Ward is hitting shitposting. Such a good book. Anyway, this has been a stream. Farewell.